And joining me now, our good friend, Mark Polymeropoulos, former CIA operations officer and foreign relations expert. Hey, care to comment there on what Jake Sullivan quoted from the Japanese prime minister about reliance on America?
Well, sure, Alex. Look, we're jumping into the unknown. We're not exactly sure what the Trump doctrine, if there is one, what's it going to be? He talks about he wants to kind of govern with this notion of strength, but I don't think we know what he believes exactly in. He's talked a lot on the campaign trail about getting out of Ukraine, ending the war in some fashion. And one of the things that I think Molly addressed in the previous segment is we're really looking to see who his foreign policy team will be. And with Senator Tom Cotton and now Mike Pompeo not in the mix, these were individuals who were more sympathetic to continued assistance to Ukraine. So if you're the Ukrainians, you are worried. If you are Europe, you're certainly worried. Ultimately, again, we just don't know. I think one thing you can see the Ukrainians doing now, and Zelensky certainly has been front and center on this, is they're almost playing to Trump's ego. You don't want Ukraine to turn into your Afghanistan. And there was that call that Trump had with Elon Musk was on it, which was a bit of a shocker. But Zelensky afterwards appeared to be somewhat satisfied. What does this mean? We don't know. Look to the next national security team. And of course, I think you do have to, of course, believe what Trump said on the campaign trail. This is not a great time for Ukraine. Lots of unknowns in the next several months.
Can I ask you what maybe an undercurrent might have been on that Musk aspect to the call? I mean, it was described as being impromptu, that apparently Elon Musk walked into the room, Donald Trump handed him the phone, hey, look, who's here? I mean, it could have been much more than just braggadocio, like, look, the world's wealthiest man just walked into the room here because of Starlink and the history there.
Right. So the Ukrainians have used Starlink very successfully. Musk has been kind of all over the place on this, but the Ukrainians do need this. Of course, Musk was also apparently on the calls with Turkish leader Erdogan and I think also with Prime Minister Netanyahu. So again, that has a whole bunch of other kind of ramifications here. But what does it mean for Ukraine? Are they going to wind this down? One of the things is, Mike Pompeo, whether you like him or not, really was pushing for a settlement, in essence, that perhaps would see Ukraine go into some kind of European security architecture. I don't think that is Donald Trump's thinking right now, and so ultimately we're going to have to see if they want to freeze the lines. That means Ukraine loses the east to Russia, also loses Crimea, and has no potential to actually come into any kind of European or NATO type architecture. That's a real loss for Ukraine. And I think then you'll have those charges that this was Donald Trump's Afghanistan. That, of course, is how Ukraine is trying to play to his ego. So we'll see. And
let me ask you quick about Netanyahu, who's really praised Trump's election as like the greatest comeback in history, and says that he's spoken to him 3 times in the last days. It's only been 5 days since he's been elected. What is Netanyahu hoping to get out of Donald Trump?
Right. So this is really interesting because there's certainly celebrations on the Israeli right that Trump was elected. But remember, Trump says he wants to end the wars, and that's the war in Gaza and that's the war in Lebanon. Now, that is not the kind of stipulation of Netanyahu's allies on the extreme right. So how do they kind of reconcile this? And on top of this has to do with, what to do about Iran. Once again, there's this notion or this theory that perhaps President Trump will be tougher, certainly on sanctions. But again, his platform was an anti-war platform. He said no more U.S. involvement in the Middle East. How does that reconcile with what I think the Israelis would love to have, which is a joint U.S.-Israeli strike on the Iranian nuclear infrastructure? So again, a lot of contradictions there, and we just have to see. But I think the Israelis are probably a little premature in celebrating about Trump because we, again, don't know what he stands for. And he might actually put a lot of pressure on Netanyahu to end the wars. We just don't know.
I got one more question for you because you spent decades at the CIA. Is there reason to be concerned about intel sharing between America and key allies? Do you think some countries are going to be less inclined to share information with the Trump administration? Do you think foreign leaders are going to go into Trump's second term, keeping top of mind experiences from his first term?
Alex, I do, and I think it's going to be issue specific. For example, on counterterrorism, there will be continued sharing. There's no doubt in my mind on that. Those are really mutual issues between countries. But for example, on Russia, if you were, for example, the British intelligence service, would you share, as they've done in the past, their most sensitive human intelligence on Russia, knowing that Donald Trump has an affinity for Putin? I think there's some question on that, and ultimately that's not a good thing for America. So I think that our foreign intelligence partners are going to have it on a case-by-case basis, look to see in particular who is going to be the next CIA director, the next director of national intelligence. Are they going to be very political? Again, a lot of questions out there.
Okay, Mark Polymeropoulos, which means you have to come back. So I'm going to have to keep asking them of you. Thanks, my friend.